let's move on to main topic number 3. And our third main topic today gets submitted to us by Zandersaurus. And Zandersaurus writes, "Hey, John, quick question. Do you think this year's Comic-Con will happen in July, whether at San Diego or online event like last year's Disney event? Or do you think it'll be canceled again due to 2 reasons? All of Warner Brothers' 2021 movies are already announced to be on HBO Max and theaters, and President Joe Biden announced that more vaccines will probably be available during the summer. However, it's uncertain if it's before or after July. Love to hear your thoughts, and Rob's too, if he's available. Thanks for making this show special." All right, thanks a lot for sending that in. And yeah, look, just to be clear though, Comic-Con did do a digital Comic-Con last year. They did Comic-Con at home last year. It was a miserable failure. It did not do all that well. They were, now granted, it was pulled together. I mean, they were kind of hoping last year till just like 2 months out, maybe even less, that they really still thought they were going to do a live and in-person. They were really wanting to do a live and in-person one. And then they made the decision not to. And then they had like 7 weeks to scramble and try to get this digital one put together. And it didn't do very well. Although I got to say, some of the panels they did, because I watched them after the fact, were actually pretty good. Some of the panels they did afterwards were pretty good. So the question comes now, all right, in California right now, we are starting to see some significant declines in the daily new cases numbers. I mean, we went from, in California, a couple of weeks, just a few short weeks ago, from like 45,000 new cases a day down to, I think the other day was down to 11,000, which is still 11,000 too many. Yeah. Still 11,000 too many. And still a bad number. But we are seeing things, hopefully, maybe I'm being overly optimistic. We are at least seeing things for the moment heading in the right direction. We have vaccines rolling out. We hear the government saying that they plan to have 150 million Americans vaccinated within the first 100 days, and we're already so many numbers of days into it. I actually know a number of people who've been vaccinated. So, I mean, good, that's rolling out, all that kind of stuff. So what does that mean for July? First thing, you asked in your question about, do you think they might just cancel because Warner Brothers already made their announcements? Let's be very, very clear. Because I know in movie circles, we may focus on what big movie panels might happen in Hall H. That is only a fraction of what Comic-Con is. It's only a fraction of what Comic-Con is. Rob, up until Superman Returns, big movie things big, huge movie presences at Comic-Con wasn't really a thing on the radar too awful much.
Right.
So, I mean, right. Comic-Con is much more than just what big movies will have Hall H panels. I mean, they're important to me, but so whatever Warner Brothers decides to do or not do is going to be completely irrelevant to whether or not Comic-Con decides to move forward. Rob, here's where it gets tricky for somebody like me. Because I believe July, we very well could be seeing open movie theaters again, movies coming out in theaters again, if, and this is a huge if things continue to progress with vaccinations continue to rolling out, more and more people getting tested, we see rates starting to drop. And we don't know it will, but if that continues, I think July is very realistic that we're going to see open movie theaters and things like that. We just had 22,000 people at the Super Bowl. I think the vast majority of them were all of them tested. The vast majority of them already vaccinated. But Comic-Con presents a special problem.
Dude, it's a super spreader event when there is no pandemic.
Absolutely. Rob, you and I talk about it. We joke about it all the time, but it's true. Like, even without a pandemic, like 40% of us, 30 to 40% of us come away from Comic-Con with the Comic-Con crud. Where like it feels like 1 out of every 3 people comes home from Comic-Con and they're sick because they're rubbing shoulder to shoulder with, let's face it, a lot of unwashed people who show up at Comic-Con, don't shower for 4 or 5 days, don't change clothes.
Fair, carrying those bags of really heavy hot toys, you pit out.
You start to get sweaty. You're rubbing up against total strangers constantly. You got 100.
Not in a good way.
Not in the fun way. Not rubbing uglies in the fun way.
Not like you're going to Dick's Last Resort down there, you know.
You've got 150,000 people cramming into downtown San Diego. By the way, that to me is still heaven on earth. I love being at Comic-Con, just to be around 150,000 people, all in a great, fun, celebratory mood. There's something good for the soul about that. I've always appreciated that.
Agreed.
But, I mean, even though I think a lot of things can be open, even though I think theaters can be open by then, even though all that kind of stuff, Comic-Con is still a problem. I'll tell you what, though, Rob. I know a number of the executives at Comic-Con. They hell or high water, they want to have their live event this year. They want to do it live. They know last year that doing the digital thing was a massive challenge. Can they do it 2 years in a row? I know they don't want to. If they see a crack in the door and a little bit of light, they are desperately going to try to do this thing live. It's going to be challenging. I think a lot of things can be open in July. 100,000+ person Comic-Con. I mean, I don't know. If you triple the price of tickets and you say we're limiting badge holders from like 150,000 to 30,000 people this year. I mean, I don't know. I'm just pulling random ideas out of my ass right now, Rob. It's going to be tough. I'm going to guess there's not going to be a live Comic-Con this year. It's certainly possible. Things are going in the right direction. They will certainly try, and they will certainly want to. In 3 weeks, I may think differently, but as of today, Rob, I think that unique kind of event is just not going to be safe to do it quite yet. But I could see them pushing it to like September. I could maybe see them pushing Comic-Con to September or something like that, and maybe then it becomes a little bit more realistic. But I don't know, Rob, this is a big question. So what do you think about the chances that we actually see Comic-Con this year?
Well, look, like you, I mean, I've been going to Comic-Con since 1988, and last year, 2020, was the first year that I missed because there wasn't one. And like you, I've always looked at Comic-Con as kind of like an anchor point. It's kind of this mid-year pick-me-up, no matter what's going on. No matter what's going on in your year, it's either in July or August. Before it was in August, now it's been in July. You know, it is like you said. It's like chicken soup for the soul, Comic-Con. And even if you're not in Hall H, what you're doing is you're seeing people you haven't seen. It's everybody is happy. There's fellowship amongst all of us. I'll call us imagination connoisseurs. We're all there for the same reason. We're all there to have our imaginations filled with the possibilities of what we're going to get in the next couple of years. And for me, and you can drink a lot, which is a bonus. But the friendship, the fellowship, the happiness, the smiles, it really is something that I look very forward to. Even as a middle-aged man-child with one foot in the grave, it's always something that I look very forward to. And if nothing else, to see people you don't get to see very much. You know, I miss Jeremy Johns. You know, we used to see him at the Collider offices. I mean, I don't know if you've seen Jeremy Johns lately, but his hair looks beautiful. He's growing a mullet.
Very different hair.
It's epic. But, you know, that guy, whenever I see that guy in person, he puts a smile on my face. He's always got a grin. He's always got something fun to say. And Comic-Con is a time when you get to see people you don't normally get to see. And there is no downside unless you're waiting to get into Hall H to see like the next Twilight movie cast. But that's not something I do. But other than that, I hope it happens. But again, the problem with Comic-Con is you have a lot of people that are the most susceptible to health issues. And you have kids. You have parents, you have grandparents, you have all kinds of people, and there is no way to stay socially distanced at Comic-Con. It is a super spreader event waiting to happen.
It's going to be challenging. There's no doubt about that. By the way, special shout out to Kung Fu Hot Dog, who sends in a super chat badge in the live chat. Thank you so much, Kung Fu Hot Dog. I appreciate that. Guys, I think a lot of things can be open. Maybe things continue to go the right way. I don't know. It's just Comic-Con is a challenging thing, even on the tail end of a pandemic. Question is, guys, what do you think is going to happen here? Do you think they're going to be able to find a way to do Comic-Con either in July, maybe delay it by a couple of months? I don't know. Or do you think, like last year, they're just going to have to bite the bullet and say, you know what, we just got to go digital again this year? What do you guys think? Jump down to the comment section below and let us know your thoughts. Okay, guys.